And we're off. How are you guys doing? This is the Hake Report. It is Thursday already, June 2nd. Happy birthday, 2022 AD. Stay tuned because the Hake Report is live and it's going to be a fun one, I think. Even though, I don't know, it's a mess. It's 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here right now in Los Angeles. Did you catch my appearance on Modern Day Debate? I talked about, it was the far right on trial. I guess that's me. I don't know. I guess I would be, what am I, center right? Center left? I'm going to talk about, well, I debated against Jangles, this guy named Jangles out of Kentucky, against the LGBT mess, the race mess, and the gender mess. I debated against that stuff. But, I think I have this. I have a funny lynching ad to share with you. I think. I think it's okay to show it. I censored it, so it is warning disturbing images ahead, I guess, right? And vulgar, sleazy Joe. I have a lot of sleazy Joe Biden clips and pics to share with you. And a classic, funny clip, I think, of this black woman. You know, so entertaining. Hat tip to big bump for the tip. Although I did see it on Twitter a little bit. All that and your calls, you can call in, guys. But anyway, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. Can you hear me, Odyssey? Press 1 if you can hear me now. Press 2 if you still can't hear me. Press 2 if you can't hear me. Press 1 if you can hear me. What a mess. You know, Odyssey, they can never get anything right. We need to get on cozy.tv. Shout out to cozy.tv. Anyway, so I'm going to get to your super chats, guys. Oh, I guess I won't point out what shirt I'm wearing. It's nothing remarkable. Well, you guys may remark on it. I wouldn't hold it against you. But it's Thursday already. Man. Let me start right off with this funny clip, guys. I saw this on Twitter. I'm pronouncing my words like the Prime Minister of Canada pronounces his words, unlike our so-called president, sleazy Joe Biden, who does not pronounce his words. He garbles and jumbles them together and sort of mumbles, practically. And he seems to be worse now than he used to be. I don't know if he used to be like this. Anyway, this is clip 11. Warning, disturbing images. But I censored the body again, okay? So, you know, we had manlier days than we have today, I would say. Wouldn't you say that our past was manlier than our present, by and large, here in America? Wouldn't you say? Times used to be tougher. Men used to be tougher. The measures taken against crime, alleged crime, I guess you might say, used to be tougher. Well, this is from a guy named Booker4KY. At least that's his Twitter handle. Charles Booker, running for U.S. Senate. Black. He's a husband, father, son, community advocate, state rep. He/him. This is a movement. The he/him is a nod, as you probably all know already, to the gender mess. You know, the imaginary, you know, the delusions of gender mess. Because obviously you look at him, you can see that he's a grown adult male, if not really a man. But he tweeted this video that I'm about to show titled "The Pain of Our Past." And he wrote, or somebody wrote for him, "Lynching is a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes for freedom. In Kentucky, it was used to kill 3 of my uncles," he wrote. "In this historical what kind of uncles did he have that they lynched 3 of them? Man, those are some bad beep uncles." But anyway, sorry, kids. "In this historic election, the choice is clear. Rand Paul." Rand Paul, as you may know, is a libertarian, son of Ron Paul. The Great? Is he a great? Ron Paul? Rand Paul seems like a hit and miss kind of a guy. I consider him a rhino. He's somewhat libertarian, kisses up to blacks and other stuff at times, you know, letting them out of jail for, you know, I think he wants to legalize drugs and stuff like that. Anyway, Rand Paul may want to divide us, but hate, he's accusing him of hate, won't win this time. It's time to move forward. Forward. Keep that in mind as you witness this ad. Hopefully you can watch it, but if you're listening to the audio, it has a rope, a noose. You know, those things that they put around people's necks to kill them for, you know, executions. Usually, I think most executions were after a trial, but some executions were without any trial, and those were called lynchings, extrajudicial killings, right? Extrajudicial executions. And it wasn't just for being black, but anyway, he says, it's time to move forward together. You want to be together with this guy? Listen to this and watch this ad. Warning, disturbing content. Listen to this. Here it is. Content warning. This video contains imagery.
The pain of our past persists to this day.
To this day. Look at
In
that.
Kentucky, like many states throughout the South, lynching was a tool of terror. It was used to kill hopes for freedom. It was used to kill my ancestors. Now, in a historic victory for our Commonwealth, I have become the first black Kentuckian to receive the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. My opponent, the very person who compared expanded health care to slavery. The person who said he would have opposed the Civil Rights Act. The person who single-handedly blocked an anti-lynching act from being federal law.
Face.
The choice couldn't be clearer. Do we move forward together, or do we let politicians like Rand Paul forever hold us back and drive us apart?
Oh, yes.
In November,
Takes off the
we will
moon.
choose healing. We will choose Kentucky.
Charles Booker for U.S. Senate. You have to love the audio sound effects, too. You hear, like, the creaking branch and the tightening rope. All loud. Rand Paul is great, says Laura Luca Music. He has a mama face, his Germanic Spaniard. I hope that doesn't make it so that kids can't watch my stream. Sorry, kids. Hope that wasn't too disturbing for you. I don't think it would be. I hope you win, Juicy. Jussie Smollett. Charles Booker for socialism. Yeah! That's the last thing we need, is this socialism stuff. Divide and conquer, trying to scare the blacks. I don't think the blacks will fall for it, right? Or will they? Very entertaining, blacks. I love them. If I love anybody, I do love the blacks. Yes, Rand Paul opposed the anti-lynching bill because it probably had some stuff in it that was unnecessary. Usually that's what the Democrats, I call them demon rats. They do. They put unnecessary stuff in there. In fact, hate crimes legislation is evil. And I like the fact that Rand Paul would have opposed the Civil Rights Act, if that's true. Nice. Whites got lynched too, says Ivana Spencer. Blacks committed lynchings too. According to one blog post that I read, and I don't know if it's true or not, but this is many of the blacks who committed the lynchings, you know, extrajudicial killings of one another, I guess. They did not document what the person was or the alleged crime or the date because they were illiterate. They couldn't read and write. Whereas the whites would photograph and document what the alleged crime was. Even in their skipping of a jury trial, they were orderly, you know, kind of like how they claimed that the Germans were. The Germans, very orderly, documented everything and all that stuff. So the only reason we have, well, I mean, I think there were some so-called journalists / propagandists, the evil NAACP, National Association Against Colored People. They documented some of the lynchings too, but there were some lynchings that were documented by the people. And with the alleged crime written down, I think, because usually I think that they were for rapes, robberies, or murders, whatever, you know? Alleged, because they didn't necessarily, weren't necessarily convicted. Sometimes they may have been innocent, who knows? But, you know, the men of the town looking out for the community. Wouldn't that be nice to have that again? That aspect of it, right? Men of the town being men. It was funny. I don't know if I have any screenshots from this. Let's see. I don't know if I do. Lynching. I have the lynching Charles Booker tweet. Yeah. Oh, man. Okay, so. Ooh. There was a funny thing. Let me see if I can find it. I wanted to show that that I caught this after the fact. I caught it late, granted. Oh yeah, I found it. Okay, cool. I don't have it in the folder yet, but I'm gonna drag it into the folder. A guy named Adam Cohen, Lawyers for Good Government. He tweeted that Charles Booker made a political ad where he has a noose around his neck, right? Does that make you uncomfortable? Just imagine how it made his ancestors feel. I'm dragging this screenshot into the folder because I wanted you to zoom in into the particular screenshot from the video on this screenshot. If America can't discuss the realities of racism, we will never achieve equality, reads this apparently unchristian liberal, Adam Cohen, Lawyers for So-Called Good Government. But he said, in this ad, it says the whatever, something persists to this day.
To this day.
What's the line? The pain of our past persists to this day. And do you see this screenshot in the main folder? I just barely dragged it in. And it's a picture of the J6 makeshift art project mini gallows that wouldn't work. Is it called a gallows? Is it with an S at the end? That's a singular noun for it. You know, the thing where it shows it had this plastic rope noose thing that wouldn't hang anybody because you'd be on your knees on the floor of this gallows before the noose even got tightened. But it's funny, persists to this day. And that's not even a picture of a lynching. Usually lynchings were not conducted on gallows. They were conducted on trees because you don't build a gallows for a extrajudicial killing. Most of the time you build a gallows for Well, I suppose, in the French Revolution, they were killing a lot of people, right? Not by hanging, but with the guillotine or whatever. I guess those people didn't necessarily face trials. From what I heard, who knows? But he's pretending, oh, yeah, the J6ers, that was for hanging black people, I guess he thinks. No, that was for Mike Pence. That was for, which I say that jokingly. They wouldn't really have done anything to Mike Pence. But that was a little art project. It wouldn't have hanged anybody. The gallows are meant for orderly and proper executions, presumably with due process, I say. You have to presume innocent unless proven guilty, right? Such as of treasonous politicians and not necessarily lynchings. Extrajudicial killings. Anyway, I just had to share with that. That was funny. To me. Let me get to a call or two before I cover the Joe Biden, who also, in his own way, he's kind of entertaining. Is he black on the inside or something? I think he is. But first, let me get to a first-time caller, Josh, in Salt Lake City, Utah. Josh, how are you doing?
Good morning, James.
Morning.
How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
Nice. So
I'm getting a lot of
Josh in
noise.
Utah.
What, are you shifting around or what?
Yeah, let me sit still.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Sound better now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's my chair. I have a cheap chair.
Oh. It doesn't sound like
spinning around in it.
It doesn't sound like a chair, but it could be a chair.
Oh, okay.
But go ahead.
But I was just calling about your debate last night. You did a really good job. You're definitely getting better. You're improving with every debate, so it's really nice to see.
Cool, man. I appreciate that feedback. I couldn't tell how I did, honestly. I wasn't necessarily dissatisfied with what I said. I said all that came to mind to say. Perhaps I could gain more clarity and toughness, but when you're in it, it's hard to judge it. And especially yesterday, it ended and it was like, oh, we're done already? Maybe because it was only 2 hours as opposed to these 3-hour debates or 4-hour streams that I've been doing, Crazy.
Yeah, like some of them, like the hippy dippy ones are just long.
Yeah.
They're so long. And
a touch too long for my taste.
With those huge panels, you really can't get anything. I don't know, those big 9-person panels. It's almost pointless because.
Yeah, it's true because there's a lot of fluff because they just say a bunch of stuff. Oftentimes it doesn't matter or it's misguided. I do appreciate the opportunity to be on those panels because like on Hippy Dippy last week, I was able to say everything that I wanted to say, I think.
Yeah, and it gets your name out there.
Yeah, and it stirs things up, and it exposes at least those people to the truth. I think, if I'm telling the truth, presumably. But yeah, I appreciate the input. Go ahead.
I got a few little quick comments on it. So the funniest part was when Jangles was devolving as the conversation went on, and then he started calling you names, and you dropped a roast on him. And I thought it was funny because that's kind of not typically what you do. But when he said something about something being fake, and you're like, "Well, I think your marriage is fake."
Yeah, that was funny. We were debating about. I was telling him that these social justice types, the fake new civil rights movement, and even the old civil rights movement, wasn't about unity. They're tearing down the monuments of our great Confederate American heroes, and. He claimed that he made all kinds of spurious claims against the Confederate States of America. And I said that they had the right, according to the Constitution, to secede from the Union. It's in the Constitution. He's like, well, the Constitution is just a piece of paper. I'm like, so is your marriage. Because he claimed before that his marriage was real because it's on paper. And I'm like, that's not real, man. But that's cool. That's funny. It was. I got him. And he's like, you did get me there.
And then just the last comment is, so this keeps coming up it was in your Hunter Avallone debate. It was in your debate with him last night. And it's like the gay parenting, and their argument is that it has no negative effect on the kids and all that. And a lot of these debates, I've realized sometimes you can't argue from a secular worldview. Like if you go with their worldview, you can't argue them because in their worldview, it's like they're right. You have to come from a Christian worldview to argue it.
Right.
But there is like some stats on the gay parent thing. We know that if you have one gay parent, your chances of becoming gay increase. And if you have two gay parents, then it dramatically increases the chance that you'll be gay. Same thing with trans.
Yeah.
And if you become gay, there's a 40% suicidality rate increase for gays and like 60% for trans. So
wow, are you serious?
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out if you have two gay parents, then your chances of committing suicide go up. So
interesting, man. Yeah,
so that's just like a little stat you could hit them with it, and it's not even like you don't need a study. Well, we have the studies, and you just use logic to put them together and figure it out.
Yep. They like to blame the Christians and the lack of acceptance for the suicides, but really it's the weakness of the people. It's yeah, there is a lack of love in the world, but it's also the lack of love inside yourself is what really causes the suicide. The lack of confidence.
And it's a lack of tough love.
Right. Yeah, very true.
We have a lot of soft love.
Love with truth, not love with lies. It's fake love, what these people are about.
That agape.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, Josh. Thanks for checking out the debates and good input.
Yeah, thanks, man. I like the show. I've been watching for a long time. First-time caller. I was hoping to get some good hold music, but you guys don't have the elevator music.
Right. It's just me. Just me in the background. When you call and you get on hold, you'll hear my voice or whatever's going on the show. Appreciate it, Josh. Do call me again sometime.
All right, take care, Hake.
You too. That's cool. Let me get to some super chats, guys. Quite a few came in from streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. Let's see. Jenny Crosby gave a super chat making an allegation. Marcus Jones is celebrating Pride Month with the Hake Report, la la la, by watching the Hake Report, because I'm not celebrating that mess. It's not good. Nothing to be proud of. Pride comes before the fall, as I saw was the title of the crypto report yesterday, I think. And then Corlick, but yeah, thank you, Jenny Crosby. Corlick states, Anglos, Germanics, and Nords are all white. Thank you, Corlick. Stephen Absolution asks, why don't you consider Italians white apart from Christopher Columbus, who I told JLP on the Jesse Lee Peterson show when he was talking with a caller today that Christopher Columbus is the only white Italian. I was being facetious a little bit, but I do like to rib you guys, you Italians, because you have among you or in your past, y'all's past, y'all were, how am I talking like a black or a southerner? You guys were mafia, Catholics. You weren't real normal Americans. Plus, you guys have like the Moors. Moors? M-O-O-R-S, which are the blacks, darks. And so you guys are mixed, and it's just, you're not waspy enough for my taste, but we still love you. Yes, I love the Italians. And some of you have become true Americans, I guess, at heart, in your heart. But, you know, we've had problems with the Italians. We've had problems here. Crime, sometimes. Frequently, they're Democrats. Frequently, they will get caught up with being their Italianity rather than being American. And I appreciate them fighting for Christopher Columbus statues because I'm not for those people tearing down the Christopher Columbus statues. Columbus, I don't think he ever landed in the United States proper or, North America, but whatever. Appreciate his accomplishments. He is or was a hero before he died. To this day, he is a late hero.
To this day.
And many other Italians are great people. Joe Arpaio. Isn't Sheriff Joe Arpaio an Italian? Indeed. Nice. Same thing with Irish. Those aren't normal whites. Catholics. They fight. They drink too much. Basically like white Mexicans. Anyway, I'm just having fun with you guys. Just having fun. All in good fun. Thank you for the support, Stephen Absolution. Our Italian brother. See, I love people of color. I love Italians. Ev Jenny Crosby says with the super chat, Charles Booker, the lynching campaign ad maker, of course, has hot sauce in his purse. So says Ev Jenny Crosby. You know what other Italian I like? Tony Castle over there on the Wrecking Crew. I appeared on Asmodor's stream last Saturday night. Forget you, Hake. He says BLM crooks. And Tony Castle was co-hosting. Shout out to Tony Castle. He is Italian, right? Or part Italian, I think. Christopher Columbus says taking care of business bear was from Genoa. That's northern Italian. That's 100% white. It's southern Italians that we had the Moors and the Mafia and whatnot. Southern Italians, to this day, don't like northern Italians.
To this day!
Yeah, never trust a Sicilian when death is on the line. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. That's a Christian joke from that Christian-friendly movie. You know what I'm talking about. The Princess Bride. Anyway, that's enough horsing around. That's enough monkeying around. We need some more content, right? Let's not get carried away. Anyway. This is gross, vulgar, fake Catholic, sleazy Joe Biden, who is not Italian. This is a screenshot from President Biden, so-called POTUS, P-O-T-U-S. I hate these. Don't hate kids, but I hate these abbreviations. POTUS, SCOTUS, FLOTUS. Dumb. Just tearing away the dignity of America. That's President of the United States, P-O-T-U-S. He tweeted during Pride Month, we honor the resilience. I'm presuming that he even tweeted this. Actually, I'm not presuming that he tweeted this. I think an intern tweeted it or somebody. During Pride Month, we honor the resilience of LGBTQI plus people who are fighting to live authentically and freely. We reaffirm the LGBTQI plus rights or human rights, and we recommit to delivering protection, safety, and equality so everyone can realize the full promise of America. And of course, Dylan Burns, that 21-year-old whom I've had on my show and he's had me on his show, liked that tweet. Lame. 445,600 suckers liked that. The Jesse Lee Peterson had him on the Fallen State too, with the Ukraine flag and the flag, the fake rainbow, not God's promise, not that rainbow. Anyway. That's sleazy Joe Biden. And I saw this clip from the Libertarian, that's a Libertarian, Party of Tennessee. They tweeted, is this you? And I have this clip 12 from 10 years ago or 14 years ago or whatever. WSB chairman tweeted, I don't know who that is, but he wrote, they will and this is from February that he posted this on Twitter. It's a 33-second clip. They will cancel Joe Rogan, a podcast host, for comments he made on his own show years ago, because Joe Rogan said the N-word and it was so funny many times. Anyway, but then they make this openly homophobic person, oh gosh, the president of the United States. And these are clips of younger, fatter, healthier, more understandable, less mumbly, sleazy Joe Biden being sleazy and pretending that he's for actual real marriage. But he was faking all the time. Listen to this mess, this liar. Here's Joe Biden.
I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here?
Do you support gay marriage?
No. Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage.
Look at the bags under his eyes. Oh, man. He had more meat on those bones, on that skull. Perhaps a little bit less work done on his face. Not sure. Leave Joe alone. Who is this guy who almost looks like Joe Biden? Crazy, huh? He mentioned DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, which was done, I think, under George W. Bush, right? I don't know. Crazy. But yes, indeed, in 2007, I think, 2007, or at least 2008, but maybe 2007, Jesse Lee Peterson knew and called it Obama was for so-called same-sex marriage. Did you know that Obama pretended not to be for it? He pretended to I believe a marriage is between a man and a woman. 2012, right before the election, I evolved. And the blacks were alienated, but they still voted for him. Suckers! Those who voted anyway. Many of them maybe stayed home. Speaking of gay, I shouldn't do that. Sorry, kids. I made it sound cool to mockingly say gay. Don't do that, kids, unless you, whatever. Right context, time and place. Anyway, this is from this POTUS, dumb tweet from May 31st. He met with this also fellow pro-LGBTQIA so-called prime minister, female, living with her partner. It's a male, living with a male. A female prime minister living with a male so-called partner, has a kid or two with him. In office, she had a kid. How embarrassing. Your prime minister is a woman, and this woman gives birth while in office. Makes me want to spit. It was an honor to welcome Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern of New Zealand to the White House for a bilateral meeting. We worked to advance the U.S.-New Zealand partnership and our shared vision for a free, open, and resilient Indo-Pacific, whatever that means. And look at that horse. Can I say horsey face? I'm setting a bad example for the kids today. This woman. There's a couple of women. Joe Biden is a woman. Don't spit, Hake. Lame. You know who else visited the White House? Look at that. Look at that face. I mean, she's mildly attractive, but she doesn't belong being a politician. She should be home. Look at those teeth. They're big teeth. Anyway, you know who else went to the so-called White House? What other un-American person went to the White House? BTS. That K-pop group. Thanks for stopping by the White House, BTS, says Joe Biden. Joe Biden's so hip. K-pop. That's Korea pop. It's like a boy band. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grown adult males, at least they're wearing suits this time, but these girly males, Asians, went over from another country, and their fans are evil. They hate Trump, they hate whites, they hate Christians. They are not morally sound. Listen to this clip. I think I have clip 14. Let's see. I think I do. Here's Joe Biden saying, "It was great to meet with you, BTS _ big hit. Thanks for all you're doing to raise awareness around the rise in anti-Asian hate crimes and discrimination." So they come over here and smear the whites, even though it's not whites who are doing this stuff to them. "I look forward to sharing more of our conversation soon." So listen to this like not at all staged, not at all contrived, little off the cuff, totally professionally shot. I'm mixing my sarcasm with accurate description. Little video skit of Joe Biden and these BTS young males who don't all seem quite morally straight, but I don't know. Talking about hate crimes legislation, which should be abolished. Anyway, here it is, I think. Listen to this.
It's an honor to meet you, Mr. President.
Welcome to the White House. Come on up here, guys. This is an important month here in America. A lot of our Asian American friends have been subject to real discrimination. Hate only hides. When good people talk about it and say how bad it is, it goes down. So thank you.
We want to say thank you sincerely for your decision, such as signing the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act into law. So we just want to be a little help, and we truly appreciate the White House and the government's trying to find solutions.
People care a lot about what you say, and what you're doing is good for all people. It's not just your great talent. It's the message you're communicating. It matters.
It matters. The White House. Ding, 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 ding. The more you know. They all look confused. Biden included. I know. Terrible, huh? They all look the same, says Jupiter. That's a hate crime to say that. Here's more contrived comments from Joe Biden. Last clip of Joe Biden, I think. Okay? Here is Sleazy Joe. I think this is, what, clip 15, is it? I forget. Let me make sure I have it in the folder. Yeah, here's clip 15. Contrived statements because, today, this is unrelated to the Asian thing or the gay thing necessarily, I guess, or the Jacinda Ardern gun grabber thing. Contrived read statements from Sleepy Joe Biden and Dr. Jill Biden, first so-called lady. "Jill and I wish your majesty a joyful platinum jubilee, kissing up to the Queen of England, the 96-year-old matriarch whose grandchild married a half-black American woman and broke away from the party, and then her daughter-in-law got killed in the car accident or something like that." Anyway, here's Sleepy Joe being totally normal. This is so phony and contrived. Listen to this.
Your Majesty, congratulations on your Platinum Jubilee. For 70 years, you've inspired people with your selfless devotion and service to the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. And throughout your reign, the relationship between the United Kingdom and the United States has grown stronger and closer than ever.
Throughout the years, the joy your visits to the United States have brought Americans and your solidarity with the American people in times of tragedy have deepened the friendship and profound connection between our countries. And Joe and I were so touched by the generosity and welcome you showed to us when we visited you at Windsor Castle last year during our first visit overseas as President and First Lady.
On behalf of the people of the United States, we send you our best wishes to you and the people around the world marking this momentous and historic occasion.
Congratulations, Your Majesty, and have a wonderful Platinum Jubilee celebration.
Makes me want to spit. Your Majesty. Play that clip 12 one more time, the anti-gay clip from Joe Biden. Compare how he's talking. Just mumbling, spitting words out. Garbling them together. With this, here's old Joe Biden. Better Joe Biden.
I can't believe the American people can't see through this. We already have a law, the Defense of Marriage Act, where we've all voted, not where I voted and others said, look, marriage is between a man and a woman, and states must respect that. Nobody's violated that law. There's been no challenge to that law. Why do we need a constitutional amendment? Marriage is between a man and a woman. What's the game going on here?
Do you support gay marriage?
No, Barack Obama nor I support redefining from a civil side what constitutes marriage.
What a snake, a lying snake, but he could actually speak back then. Crazy. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let me get to Joe in Idaho, our friend. How you doing, Joe?
Hake, I'm well. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on Biden having BTS at the White House.
Yeah, that K-pop, Korean pop group, boy band.
Yeah, that's
smearing the
ridiculous
whites.
Because, yeah, I mean, they're not from America, so why are they here talking about anti-Asian hate in America? They're not from America. It would have been much more relevant for him to have victims of anti-Asian hate crimes visit the White House to speak out about what's happened to them. I think the reason he doesn't want them there is because he doesn't want them speaking the truth about who's committing the majority of those crimes.
Yeah.
Which is blacks. Right.
I think that too. I think too. It's Obama was also all about the stars, the so-called stars. You know, the star power, celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And so too is Sleepy Joe Biden and his ilk. He probably has BTS fans in his so-called administration, you know, and they're about, and the people, the masses who allegedly voted for Sleepy Joe Biden are suckers for big names and stuff like that. It gets more views, you know, it gets more excitement. Ooh, BTS? Wow, my worlds are coming together. Sleepy Joe Biden, whom I was so excited to vote for, 81 million of us, and BTS, which has so many fans. It's like it's propaganda it is like what you said. They're not showing the victims of these so-called hate crimes, but it's also, it's globalist, it's homolist, if that's a word, and it is,
I think so.
It's propaganda, and the only people I can think of who would be fooled by this are like, I don't even know if junior hires would be fooled by this, but maybe they would.
I think a lot of liberals are fooled by it.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I also want to state that if the Biden administration really took anti-Asian hate seriously, they would not have dropped the lawsuit that was started under Trump against Yale University for discriminating against Asian applicants.
I know.
They dropped that lawsuit.
Where's the lawsuit on behalf of the whites, the white men?
Yeah, someone needs to start that. I don't know why. I think I know why. I think the reason no one has started that is because everyone's afraid of being called a racist.
Yeah. I mean,
because in our society, if you do that, your life can be ruined.
True. To a point, there's some truth to that, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And then anytime the whites speak out, they're like, "Oh, stop being a victim. Give me a break."
Yeah.
That's such phoniness. In fact, that's all Biden was about. This was all victimhood. The LGBT stuff, the pride, there's a backlash against the Christians, right? Because the Christians and the sensible people, I don't even think you're a Christian, right? Would you agree with me that the LGBTQI plus stuff is mostly a shame? It's not something to be proud of?
To shame Christians?
No, there's
nothing to be proud of about
right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, most of it they should be ashamed of themselves.
Right. Yeah. And you're not even a Christian.
No.
So, and the same thing, Jacinda Ardern, dumb woman, BTS, the anti-Asian hate crimes, all victimhood stuff. And, well, I guess that kissing up to the Queen. That's another loser. She couldn't even keep America. She does own Canada, I hear. Shameful.
Yeah. Well, I do have respect for the UK. So.
Yeah, where they're respectable anymore, but they're not so respectable anymore, you know?
Yeah, they've gone downhill.
Yeah. But it's a fair point, man. BTS at the White House. What a joke. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is a joke. And of all people, I mean, get someone serious in there instead of like a boy pop band, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, and whenever they get the opportunity to speak out against white supremacy, you know, like for example with that Buffalo shooter, my hometown, they won't shut up about it. But when it's blacks attacking Asians, they never mention it.
Yeah,
they avoid talking about it.
Yep, and blacks target the sitting ducks, and they go after whites. Basically, if you're not black, you're white in many of their minds. You know So the Asians,
they go after elderly people. They sneak up on people from behind.
Yeah, so evil.
Terrible. Yeah, but liberals won't mention that. They won't speak out about it because in their minds, black people are all angels.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to mention about this, either the BTS thing or the Asian thing. Oh, yeah, all these BTS, it's a bunch of tokens. It's a bunch of tokens. They're being used as props.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't mind it because they like they're on an ego trip.
The publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll make them more money in the end.
Yep. And they hate decency, apparently, because their fans hate Trump and hate election integrity and stuff like that. I remember BTS fans flooded some website that was meant to help preserve election integrity in some form, or at least it was aimed at that. I remember hearing these different Twitter trends where BTS fans do this or that or this or that, and it's never for anything like good. It's always to subvert.
I mean, aren't all their fans like 12-year-old girls?
I don't know, but there's a lot of them, I guess. I hear.
I mean, who cares what a 12-year-old girl has to say anyway?
Yeah, but they flood. They flood around and stir up mess. Anyway.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Joe in Idaho. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Okay, before I get back to calls, I got to show this classic black woman clip. This is funny. I'm going hard on the entertainment value for you guys here. Hat tip to Big Bump. This is an article from Breaking 911. Witnesses said Missouri police shot an unarmed pregnant woman 5 times. Cops released this photo, and I think I have the photo. Yeah, there it is. And it's from Breaking 911, and it came out yesterday, I think, June 1st. And if you zoom in on that hand, it looks like she has a little pistol in her hand. A 26-year-old Kansas City woman, Missouri, been charged with exhibiting a weapon in her encounter Friday evening, I guess last week, with Kansas City police officers. So said Jackson County prosecutor Gene Peters Baker, announcing yesterday. The news came after several media outlets falsely reported fake news, misinformation, that the black woman was unarmed, prompting outrage on social media. And I have a picture of this woman who allegedly was brandishing this weapon, running from the cops. Got herself shot 5 times, apparently survived because she's charged with a crime. So good for her. Resilient black woman. Strong black woman. Liana M. Hale, age 26, faces unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful use of a weapon, and the misdemeanor of resisting a lawful detention. Aw, pretty little black lady. Apparently not very ladylike, though. Pregnant, too. And this is the funny part. This clip. I got this from Storyful. And I slowed it down like 10%, just so you can enjoy it, among other things. Police shoot a woman in Kansas City during a carjacking investigation. But fortunately, I am sparing you any footage. Actually, I have no footage of the actual shooting. But here is a bystander, an alleged witness of the shooting, who's insisting she witnessed it. And I think she might be black. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure. I'm lying. I'm sure. Because it's so entertaining. 2.5 minutes of pure fun for you. Is it pure fun? Anyway, here it is. Listen to this. Clip 16. This woman.
They shot her. 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 Oh my God, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Mama, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. Oh God, they shot her. Oh my God, they shot her. What the I ain't seen nobody like this since my daughter died in front of me. They shot her, y'all, they shot her. They shot her, y'all, they shot her. I watched it all. Y'all, please, they shot her. They shot her, y'all, they shot her, God. Oh my God, they shot her, they still putting her in handcuffs. What type of woman are you? You still putting her in handcuffs.
Is that a woman cop?
They still putting her in handcuffs after they shot her. My name is Miss Pratt. I'm from Arkansas. Look how they got her. It's 12 police officers. They shot her and they got her in handcuffs.
A little bit more.
They got her in handcuffs while they shot her, y'all. Why they shot her? They got her in handcuffs while they shot her, y'all. Why they shot her? Why they shot her, y'all? They got her in handcuffs. I've never seen. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Arkansas, but I stopped here to get some gas, y'all, and to get some ice cream for my kids, y'all. And my son just watched this. My 1-year-old son just watched this. My 10-year-old son just watched this, and my 13-year-old son just watched this happen. The man ran. She was finna cooperate. She got scared. She ran down there. They shot her. 1, 2, 3, 4. My son got it on his phone too.
She was finna cooperate?
They got her in handcuffs while she shot God. I'm a medical assistant, God. That ain't right. I'm a medical assistant, God. That ain't right.
I'm a medical assistant, God. It ain't right.
My son in the store. My son in the store. My son is in the store. My 10-year-old son is in the store. Yes, sir. I'm back. I'm back, sir. I watched that. My son's. Jacob, come bring my baby. Bring my baby. Bring my baby out that store. He ran in there to hide.
Watch for the cute little black, fat black boy.
Don't care about my baby. Come on, Jacob. Don't get scared, baby. Come on.
Watch for Jacob. He's so cute.
Get in the car. Get in the car.
He's running. Oh. Well, I mean, I understand.
They kicking me away.
She got scared. Anyway, shout out to that beautiful, entertaining black lady whose voice is perhaps deeper than mine. Nice. Anyway, the question remains: did she get shot? How is this funny? Asks Dees. I don't know. Blacks find a way. Don't you think? Don't you think, Joe from Phoenix, Arizona? How are you doing?
Good morning, James. How are you?
Fine. Morning to you.
Good. I know it's not your show, but Jesse was saying how earlier that it was only white people who built this country, and I've heard you agree with that in the past.
I've never heard him say it was only white people.
I mean, he just said it this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, good for him. Nice.
Unfortunately, Jason didn't have the intelligence to actually have actual facts to debunk that nonsense. So
that's nonsense.
Yeah. You ever heard of Benjamin Banneker?
I might have.
I doubt that you have. Surveyor, author, inventor, literally designed and surveyed Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. That's literally building our country.
Cute.
That's a way to minimize it, Jay.
I'm not minimizing it, but you're minimizing the fact that, like, every founding father was white. Ever heard of every founding father?
Depends on what you're looking at. Me about founding fathers. You ever heard of Prince Hall? Black guy.
Maybe, I don't know.
Father. Peter Salem, black guy, founding father.
How about whites? This country was built by whites. And Jesse doesn't normally say only whites.
A lot of people.
Huh?
He said only whites this morning. It was built by a lot of people.
Because only whites are being minimized. You accuse me of minimizing. Whites are the ones who are being minimized in this country and smeared as the bad guys. They're smearing the founding fathers.
That makes sense in olive branch to calm me down. I don't believe that white people should be smeared either. Okay.
Ah, that's nice. What's the percentage? Yeah. What's the percentage of the people who built the country who were white? Would you say?
Percentage? I don't know, James.
Would it be north of 90%? Would it be north of 95%?
That would be hard to say. How do you know that there were many Chinese who literally built the railroad?
I know, but we hired those people to do that.
Did you ever hear of Bass Reeves?
I have heard that name.
U.S. Marshal in the 1800s, literally was a legend in bringing law and order to the West when the West was being settled.
I think William from California has mentioned his name before or something.
There were many.
Would you estimate? Would you guesstimate?
Who contributed?
Take a wild guesstimate. Would it be 99%, 95%, 90% white?
Well, James,
builders of America
was being built. It was probably. I mean, I don't remember
the founding of America.
Probably 80% more white people. So of course, it's going to be the majority of white people doing it because they were the majority of white people here in the country.
Yeah. Talking about white culture, white civilization.
Yeah, there are plenty of people who helped build this country, James.
And they were living all of those people who helped, nice. They were living in a white world, weren't they? A white country. They cooperated with the whites. They were living according to white culture. Were they not?
No, we'll disagree on that here.
What, they didn't cooperate with the whites? They didn't live in the white Christian American culture?
They're building their own culture as well, James. It's not just a white culture that can be profitable and fruitful and good and all that.
So those people whose names you rattled off, they had their own culture. It was not American culture. Is that what you're saying?
They were helping to build American culture, which is not only just white. This is my point.
I don't know if you build culture, building civilization.
You absolutely build a culture.
I don't know if you build a culture.
Absolutely. I mean,
but when you were talking about building, founding, setting up the country, and making it great, that's maybe you're establishing the United States of America. That is supposed to be one culture. I mean, granted, there are some sub. Why are you wearing that degenerative shirt? Yes, Bob. It's a good question, Billy Bob. There are many there's the South, there's the North. Granted, we have a big country with many subcultures in it, but we are supposed to be Americans. So anybody who's building their own thing, that's not building America. Even if they're building it inside of America, that's not building America. I wouldn't. Why are you trying to divide?
Nice. James.
You laugh at it, but it's true. Diversity is division.
They are simply different cultures, James, within America. Yes, we should.
I know,
all be
but those
American,
people who were building America were not building different cultures. They were building America. In the white-dominated world, cooperating with the whites, they spoke English, I presume, and they.
Really? Have you ever been to New Orleans?
New Orleans? I know, but those people didn't build anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh man. But anyway, nice try.
Nice try. Yeah. Okay. They're just facts, James. They're just facts.
I only gave you facts, and I gave you truth, the big picture truth, because you try to come in with all these exceptions, as though that.
Not exceptions, James. They're just reality and the truth of the matter.
I know, but you can't even guesstimate. I've asked you, like, this is my third chance I'm giving you.
Said,
guesstimate.
And I have to go back and look, but I'm estimating this probably 80% of the population that back then was white European.
It was more than 80%. I would bet you that it was more than 80%.
I don't know. I'm not
yeah, 80% was in
you,
the what,
you
50s
were wrong,
and 60s?
Joe.
Huh?
I don't know.
Yeah. New Orleans is disgusting, says John Frederick.
That's not just New Orleans. Actually, I agree on that. New Orleans is a decadent, disgusting city.
Yeah.
Of course, there are nice parts, but there's plenty of French speakers down there in Louisiana.
Yep. Let me just double check for any super chats because I don't like to miss stuff that are directed at you. Anyway, thank you, Joe.
Yes, I know you love that.
Yeah.
Have a good day, James.
All right. Bye. Let me get to Rick in Maine. Rick, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay, but getting a little irritated with black folk like Joe from Phoenix trying to claim the blacks built this country. They had their hands in building this country.
They were hired help.
They did not build this country. You show me one picture of the founding fathers who signed the Constitution, put this country together, that has a black man in it, I'll say the same. They had their hands in building it, but they themselves, as an ethnicity, did not build this country. And yes, you're right. He's trying to divide.
Right.
He's trying to do the same thing that Obama did. Oh, yeah, that's his, no, I won't say it. But, you know, it just amazes me that people have the audacity to say something like that. If you don't believe me, what I'm saying about the constitutional group that signed the Constitution, research Mike Church and watch his cartoons. Maybe that's on your level, but it'll put you straight.
Nice. You know, Chris says the word built is what's in contention here. Because these people, there were blacks who were hired, or there were some enterprising,
that's why I said.
Like what's that guy's name? Booker T. Washington. He built his own thing.
Washington, yeah.
He built his own thing. He wasn't trying to force integrate or anything like that. Similarly, I think that Frederick Douglass, I don't know much about him, but I don't think he was for this integration mess.
No.
Diversity mess. So.
And if Joe says what's true, that a black fella designed the layout of Washington, D.C., then I'll give him that. You know, I'll credit him for that.
Yeah.
But total ignorance about saying the whites had nothing to do with building this country when it was just exactly the opposite.
Yeah, it's true.
The blacks were hired to help the whites.
We gave them shelter.
They were compensated.
We gave them shelter, food. How about a thank you?
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
You know, that's something else right there that really irritates me, James. It's all these people that are on welfare. The taxpayers, not the government, but the taxpayers that pay them their welfare does not even get a thank you card.
I know. Or just
Amazing,
how about
isn't it?
some white appreciation? But no.
Yeah.
But no.
No, none at all.
That's what
Let me give
spoiling
you
does. Spoiling makes people ungrateful.
Yeah. Let me give you
And
a little...
rightly so, honestly, when you go down to the welfare thing.
That's right.
Yeah, it's true. What were you about to say?
Let me give you a little quote that was given to me here a few days ago.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, this is exactly what it is. A fellow by the name of, let me find it here. Sorry.
Now, Joe from Phoenix didn't say whites had no hand in it or anything like that.
But that's the way that they
that's the
lay
way that it
towards
is. There's no acknowledgement of who built the country.
No, they don't acknowledge it.
Yeah,
that's what
in fact,
irritates me.
Yeah, we're talking about the culture at large. We're reacting to that more so than you specifically, Joe from Phoenix, you intellectual. But yeah.
Supposed intellectual.
Right.
All right. Fellow by the name of Reed Hendricks.
Okay.
Has a channel on Rumble called Valor Ridge.
I appreciate that. Don't do me a favor, Rick. Don't name drop or plug other stuff. But you can share a good quote if you have one.
I'll give you the quote.
Okay.
The lessons that we learn are written on the tombstones of others.
Interesting. So, can you elaborate on that? I don't quite follow necessarily.
In other words, the people that have died for this country, including some of my family veterans, our freedoms are written on their tombstones.
Meaning that we have our freedoms because of their
They died
deaths.
for them.
Yeah. There's some truth to that, I suppose. Thank you, man.
All right. Thanks for the airtime. I appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. All right.
Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. We are past the top of the hour, guys. It's time for some music. I disavow it. I disavow it. More hidden cameras for you guys. The hidden cameras. And, I'll mention the name of this song. It's called Ban Marriage. But I'm not going to mention anything else. All right. Enjoy. Press mute. Leave the room, kids, I guess. This one isn't as bad as yesterday's. I guess. Maybe it is. Don't listen too closely to the lyrics. It's disgusting. But here it is. And I'll see you for the rest of hour 2 shortly. I'm about to leave the room, too. Nice. Here it is. Well, isn't that nice, guys? What a trash beach, Hank. You'll like Florida, says Dale. Well, you don't like HB? The Beach Boys sang about that beach, I think. This is like a gay early 2000s copy of the Beach Boys. That may be what it is. What a mess. Not too bad, Hake. Not too bad, Hake, says whatever. Says Apocalypse Bear. Not whatever. OC is a lot nicer than LA beaches. I agree. Lord H. Sizzle says, whenever Hake is done playing his little music, a guy on a boat goes to that offshore platform where it is, then... What? Oh. That's funny. I think he's talking about my music. Where it is then sent down to the ocean depths to be forgotten forever. Hake's little music? Sent down in the bottom of the ocean? Can't they pump more oil? Yeah, we're looking at the video feed that we played during the music. It was, I believe, an oil rig out in the sea. Good lyrics, says Ramrod. I disagree. I disavow. Hank is about to polish off a bottle of sink water. Tap water. Anyway, evil Christian music, it is definitely not Christian. Maybe he was marginally so at one point. I'm not sure. Malibu's nice. Yeah, that's true. Hake, your music hasn't changed. It's still horrible. Very unchristian music. Indeed, Isaiah. Shameful. Happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate it. Luca says, it's all right. Okay. Oh, I did see that I went over to google.com and I found indeed they are so-called honoring pride and supporting the LGBTQ plus community, so-called community, which it's not a community, in their delusion, in their evil. What an evil person, right? If Google is a person, what an evil bunch of people. Super chats from streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Based America First states on Streamlabs, the teacher who left the door unlocked at Robb Elementary School said she thought the door was locked when closed. This is the Uvalde school shooting. Nice of her lawyer to advise her to blame administration maintenance for a malfunctioning lock. Who doesn't check the lock knowing a gunman is outside? A scared woman who can't handle pressure, I suggest. That's what I suggest. Women teachers. Sometimes they're decent teachers for the kids, but what a mess. Based America First states Benjamin Benneker was the son of a freed slave. Does that mean slavery was actually good? No slavery, no Benneker. Shout out to the slaves and the slave owners and the slave trade. Some beautiful history, right? It's not ugly history. Stephen Absolution, thank you, Based America First. Stephen Absolution with another super chat. Thanks for the history lesson and the correction. Very appreciative. Very much appreciate you, brother. More cowbell, though. Shout out to Chris. That's White Chris. Kickflip, Galaxy Brain, Chris, who was going off during the break against Joe from Phoenix. Do you want to comment on this? This was pretty good commentary here. Chris is on with us.
Yeah, I mean, I always find it fascinating that, I called it just willful ignorance that, when we make these, they're pretty vague, like general. We're like, oh yeah, whites built America. It's a white country.
Yeah.
And then without fail, you check the comments or, this is a call-in show, so you get somebody to call in like, well, actually, let me give you X, Y, and Z. They just feign ignorance that, like, they think I can't comprehend that, like, black people or any non-white was, like, in America at any time. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying there wasn't, like, a black person here in the 1700s or even the 1600s, whatever. Whenever we started coming over here as the colonies and, Plymouth Rock and all that stuff, they just immediately go to, no, it was actually the non-whites that built this country. And I mean, I told you, like, what's in contention is the word built.
Right.
They immediately go to, like, labor, like hard labor.
Yeah.
Even that, I would put the majority of the labor to the whites.
Yeah.
Like, they'll say the Asians or the Chinese, whoever, built the railroads.
Uh-huh.
Which, again, I'm sure, they might have made up maybe even a large part of the hard labor force. But, I mean, you're sort of just neglecting, like, how things get done. It's top down. Like,
right.
You know,
exactly.
The Chinese didn't just come over here and start building railroads. Like, where'd they get the steel? Where do you get the parts?
Yeah.
You know, we had to get all these things. We had to white people had to come up with the idea of a railroad.
Yeah.
Can you not fathom that?
Yeah. It's like Trump has built many towers and properties, right?
No, he didn't actually build the towers.
Right. Yeah.
It's so silly. Like, you know, Jeff Bezos, he built Amazon. Well, actually, like his technical team, you know, his development team built. Shut up. Stop. It's just absolute nonsense. And it's just, I was telling you, it's a combination of like arrogance and jealousy. It's just, you can't see it as just a matter of fact.
Right.
Or you can't just let it be. Like, usually, like I said, when we're talking about whites building America, we're just speaking generally.
Yeah.
Like, we're just talking. But even then, I don't even want to concede any ground.
I know.
Actually, there.
Yeah.
Non-whites played a small part. I would almost, maybe not insignificant, but very small part.
Yeah.
In helping with, again, the laborious, the very tedious.
Even if every laborer was of so-called of color.
Yeah. yeah, literally. Yeah, again, it's a top...
Like you said, top down.
It's a top-down thing.
Yep.
You know, just generally speaking, like the idea of the railroad. So you have to come up with, to build something like that,
yeah,
they had to come up with all the stuff. You think they just started building the railroads willy-nilly? Like, you have to test these things. There's R&D. You have to go through all the parts. Now you, the white man, says, okay, non-white person, here's the blueprints. Here's how you use the tools. Here's how you do X, Y, and Z. Now build the thing.
And when you say we built the country, it's also we set it up. Like the founders set it up. They set it up to be like an attractive, beautiful place to live.
Well, it's
functioning.
It's non-tangible things as well.
Yeah.
Non-tangible things. You were mentioning culture. You were mentioning the non-tangible things, sort of just like the spirit of the nation, the language. Yeah, Nick is saying in the chat, like, grossly simplifying.
Yep.
Yeah, again, they come up with like these one-off examples of a thing, a thing. And, what about, again, the adventure, the safety that we, created, the communities themselves.
Yeah.
The families.
Uh-huh.
This is back to like more tangible things, but again, the culture itself, like America's culture is not Japanese, it's not Middle Eastern, it's not African. It's barely, European is, given it a broad brush.
Right.
It's very specific.
It reminds me of the Obama line. Joe from Phoenix is a big Obama fan. And Obama infamously said, if you have a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen. Somebody had to build the roads. We have the income tax to have the police force to keep the community safe. We have somebody built the water pipes, so you're building. Somebody else made that happen. Just completely downplaying and denigrating and diminishing the business owners who build businesses.
Yeah.
There's other people who are not building anything. So
yeah.
What a mess.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's an oversimplification simplification or like it's an overreach is actually, what it is. Like in this case, what we're talking about, again, it's just like we're just free men talking over here, just talking about what it is, white country, white people built it. And I'm like, well, actually, they race in, like I immediately get on the phone. Yeah. No, it wasn't this or it wasn't that.
And
give me a break.
Jason from Buffalo, he complained about the frequent JLP caller, Jason from Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
His problem is not a lack of intelligence, although that is a symptom he has. His problem is a closed mind and a hard heart towards the truth. He has a issue with whites, Christians, and Jesse. So he's not open. That's his issue. Brandon M. gave a super chat. A blind squirrel occasionally finds a nut. Congrats to Joe for finding his nut. The dozen or so blacks who did something beneficial. Nice, Brandon M. Right on.
Well, and another thing, and we talk about this a lot. I know Jesse talks about this a lot. When you say something, and I'll just give a quick example. I like apples. And then, James, you would respond, well, do you hate oranges?
Right.
It's like, I'm not even talking about that. I just said I love apples.
Right.
So it's like white people build the country. What about the black people? You hate black people? Well, I wasn't talking about them.
Yeah.
So, buzz off.
Right.
How about that?
It's true. People lack, even intellectuals, people who get hung up on these things, they lack the ability to listen to what you're actually saying, but they jump to conclusions about what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's the most dishonest, false judgment, too. Like when Trump said they're rapists.
Yeah.
He said all Mexicans are rapists. No, he didn't.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a real problem.
Right.
I don't know how you would, you immediately launch to that. Like, usually these bleeding heart liberals, rape is like one of their main things.
Not if it's a Mexican. By a Mexican.
Yeah, exactly.
They call it a Arizona man.
Yeah.
Committed a rape against a child.
Yeah, exactly. You would think they would kind of be all over an issue like that, but
nope.
No. And last thing to go on the Jason from Buffalo thing. That's another thing I noticed. I don't know if it's always been like this, or maybe it's just been happening more in the last decade or so. He's asking, what is a white person?
I know. Yeah.
What do you mean? What are you talking about,
right.
dude? And then he immediately goes into the the really deep minutia, the trivial things.
Yeah.
Like, Italians, Jews. And it's like, well, again, you're going to the bottom of the barrel.
Right.
Like, let's start with the overarching.
Right.
Like, very general, what is a white person? Well, you can pretty much just, with your eyeballs, just tell.
Yeah, he's trying to obscure. That's what it's a typical evil person mind is to try to muddy the waters. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, well, what even is a white person?
It's like
It's
like the gays can't have children in their gayality, right?
Right.
Well, what about and marriages for having a family?
Yeah.
What about the people who can't have babies? That's just muddying the water.
Right.
It's a totally different situation.
I don't want to start throwing out numbers, but the extremely low number of people who cannot have children.
Right.
The trivial, number of people who can't have children. Okay, give me a break, man.
Right.
Yeah. They immediately go to. Well, I mean, this is the case with a lot of things. Yeah, they just immediately go to the just sort of abstract almost.
I know.
Just worst case scenario.
Yeah. Lord H. Sizzle with the super chat says, Hey, picking cotton back in the day was really hard work, and it is still showing its effect on today's generation. Even newborns are brought into this world feeling tired and exhausted. Yeah. There's a word that I learned from the Mexicans that I'm not supposed to repeat. But it came to mind for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right on. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Kathy in California is on the line. Kathy, how are you doing?
Hi, James. I'm great. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you.
Nice. So I'm calling about your hero, my hero as well, Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, a living hero. That is cool.
A living hero. Yep, he's running for mayor of Fountain Hills, Arizona. So maybe Joe from Phoenix will vote for him.
Are people from Phoenix allowed to vote for Fountain Hills mayors? Maybe he's
I don't know.
Is Fountain Hills in the Phoenix area?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Maybe he is specifically from. I wonder if Joe from Phoenix is a fan of Joe Arpaio.
That's a good question.
Joe Arpaio looked into Barack Obama's birth certificate, and he claimed without evidence that it was forged according to Wikipedia. But I saw what looked like evidence. It looked like evidence to me. I don't know if
he was able to. One of his he deputized someone, and he went to Hawaii to look into it, and found out it was a forgery. And anyone who's surrounded that birth certificate ended up, ended up dead.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So the guy whom he deputized, has he died too?
No, not him.
Oh, good.
But people who actually knew the truth, and
yeah. Wow. Interesting.
So I have a quote for you.
Okay.
From Sheriff Joe. I am the constitutionally and legitimately elected sheriff, and I absolutely refuse to surrender my responsibility to the federal government. And that means he's for the people. He's going to stand up for the people.
Yeah. That's cool. And he does. That is one Italian whom I really appreciate, Joe Arpaio.
Yeah, he saved Maricopa County thousands of dollars a year in implementing things.
Yeah.
Like turning underwear pink.
Right.
I have a personal story involving pink handcuffs. I mean, I couldn't figure out what police department would paint their handcuffs pink, because in my job, I use handcuffs.
Okay.
And the prisoners would joke about who was going to end up with the pink handcuffs. And I didn't know who Joe Arpaio was at the time. But I thought later on when I found out, I was like, that's where they came from. Sometimes you forget to get your handcuffs back from different agencies. And
wow.
He even painted the handcuffs pink. It was funny.
That is funny. Joe Arpaio is turning 90. If he makes it to mid-June, June 14th, he will be 90 this month.
Wow.
And I saw him at AFPAC. It was
nice.
One of my favorite speeches at AFPAC. It was cut short. I mean, everybody was talking along, and he was the second to last guy before Nick Fuentes spoke. But I really appreciated his personality is just perfect. He's a man. JLP has interviewed him many times over the years.
I would love to meet him myself. Chris from Arizona, my sister, she had a chance to meet him. Got a book signed for you, and I thought that was kind of neat.
I do too. That is cool. Yeah, he's living over there in Fountain Hills, so that's cool. I appreciate that he, even at nearly 90 years old, he's still active. He's not one to just sit back and retire. Well, there's some who don't retire who should just get out of the country or the government, like Nancy Pelosi and a lot of these people, Sleepy Joe Biden. But he's an honorable man as far as I can tell, and I really appreciate him. His wife died just last year in 2021. Ava?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, that is cool.
I hope you have him on your show one of these days.
I hope so, too. I feel like I want to read more of his book.
I know. You want to be prepared.
Yeah.
Listen to the Audible. It's really good.
Oh, yeah. I think you mentioned that to me last time.
Yes, it really is good because
Who
when
reads it?
President Trump... I'm sorry?
Who reads his Audible book? Do you know the voice?
Oh, no, I can't remember.
Okay, no problem. But you were about to say about Trump or something?
Oh, yeah. So in the book, he puts Trump's speech in it. And on the Audible, it's actually Trump's voice telling the speech. And
oh, that's cool.
It really is. It came out really nice.
That is nice. Man, I'm just looking at his Twitter and stuff. It's just kind of heartwarming. We need to return to that type of strength and
yes, I agree.
Being solid, unmovable.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
Thanks again, Kathy. Great to hear from you. Maybe see you in a couple of months at if you make it to Straight Pride.
I will see you at
Nice.
Absolutely, I'll be there.
All right. Take care.
Have a great day.
You as well.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. Were you wondering? I just put these photos. No, I didn't put these photos in the folder. I wonder what Monica Lewinsky has to say about Amber Heard, said nobody sensible. But Vanity Fair and Pocket sure found it noteworthy, headline-worthy. What's that thing? What is it called when you curating worthy? Monica Lewinsky's verdict on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. We are all guilty. Speak for yourself, woman. And this is a report from the far-left enemies of America, Vanity Fair. The fake news media, the enemy of the people. Trump's so right about that. And Monica Lewinsky, if you're not already aware, which most of you probably are, she is the lady, and I may use the term loosely, with whom I believe it's a fact, Bill Clinton, the liar, while president, cheated on his wife, adultery, with this early 20s-year-old, at the time, intern or something. Vulgar, so-called sexual perverted acts they committed together. Oh, it's a disproportionate power. You can't say no to the president. Yeah, right. She knew it was wrong, Monica Lewinsky, but somehow she's looked up to or listened to for moral sense from the likes of Vanity Fair. And she wrote an article in Vanity Fair talking about gossip and news and because she was subject to gossip and jokes. She was the butt of many jokes. And so she said that she was kind of voyeuristically interested in the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp trial. Amber Heard being the actress, the fake Me Too actress who smeared Johnny Depp, who is an actor, very famous actor, and underhandedly, along with the evil ACLU, smeared Johnny Depp and men with this fake domestic violence attack. Fake domestic violence propaganda. It's propaganda to smear the men. So sick. You know who else was promoting this stuff? The failing New York Slimes, which I don't think I put this in the article, but in the folder here. But TikTok's Amber Heard hate machine, the failing New York Slimes. This is from May 26th. Television turned the celebrity trial into a 24-hour tabloid spectacle. Social media made it a sport. And it's written by this Amanda Hess woman who said, I did not follow the defamation trial between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It followed me. And she complains about how the TikTok people were going after Amber Heard and not Johnny Depp. Boycott Disney was a hashtag for a while. Eager to capitalize off of Depp's status as a fallen Disney franchise star, because Disney did the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, right? But they didn't hire him back for any more. Well, honestly, I was sick of it after the first one. The first one was good enough, whatever. He was the actor who played Captain Jack Sparrow, you know. But Disney doesn't like to stand for what's right, so they abandon men who are accused of mess, right? There was a funny thing. Johnny Depp doodles in court. He can't remember the names of his own movies. So what? But exhibits supporting Amber Heard's claims, like a video she recorded of Johnny Depp pouring himself a gigantic cup of wine and violently smashing glasses in their kitchen one morning, are stripped of evidentiary value and bandied about as memes. Each day of the trial begins with Depp fans convening online and joking about downing their breakfast mega pints of wine. And the people who are, they dismiss these people as Johnny Depp fans. But normal people can see that Amber Heard is a mess. But the media are not normal people. They're not normal Christians. They're not normal whites. They are enemies of America. It's true. It's a fact. And of men. And of actual justice. You know what else is gross? It's promoted by the far left enemies of America, Twitter. It's disgusting. This I put in the folder just now. Madonna's black adopted son in a dress. Cover your eyes, kids, or leave the room, children. And people with a weak stomach, you might want to throw up. Far left Twitter promoted this as trending. Madonna's son wears an update of Madonna the singer, you know, pop singer, vulgar woman. Old, by the way, she's old. She's like 60 something. I mean, it's not that old, okay? 60-something-year-old people and 70-something-year-old people and 80-something-year-old people. But I'm talking about she's old to be acting all, trying to be sexy and stuff like that. Nasty. Sorry, kids. You should be covering your eyes and ears. At a boxing match, Madonna and her son, 16-year-old, a 16-year-old minor. This is David Banda is the name of her 16-year-old adopted black son. Were knockouts at the title fight between whoever, Gervonta Davis and Rolando Romero in Brooklyn, New York. 16-year-old David Banda, a minor, wore an Adidas X Gucci dress. A male in a dress. Underage. Inspired by the one Madonna wore in 1993. And I have these pics from Huffington Post tweeted out. Look, at least he's wearing tennis shoes. Are those tennis shoes? But, it's the one that Madonna wore at the 1993 Sleepless in Seattle premiere. So said People magazine. Was she in Sleepless in Seattle? Or am I confusing this with something else? 16-year-old David Banda's look appeared to promote a re-envisioning of this picture. Of the outfit in this picture. And it looks like Madonna walking around with, is that fat, disgusting pig? To quote Trump. Is that, what's her name from League of Their Own? Feminist dykey lady? Sorry, kids. I use the term lady loosely. Rosie O'Donnell? Is that I think that's Rosie O'Donnell. I think they did hang out. I heard that Madonna and Rosie used to come to or attended Interesting. I don't know if I can say that. But anyway, re-envision the collaboration between Adidas and Gucci, with the latter calling Madonna and the Sons pairing a past meets present moment. Here's that past Madonna rocking the look 29 years ago when she was actually young-ish. Rosie O'Donnell. Mother and son appeared to enjoy their walk down Madonna's memory lane, writes the Huffington Post, which is a disgusting outlet. Promoted by Twitter, by the way. Far-left enemies of America, Twitter. I'm shaking my head. Perhaps that should come as no surprise. He's the one I have most in common with, Madonna once said of 16-year-old, or maybe he was younger than that when she said this, David Banda, whom Madonna and her ex-husband, the movie maker guy, director, whatever his name is, Guy Ritchie, you guys familiar with Guy Ritchie? Adopted from Malawi in 2006. Oops. When he must have been a baby. Malawi, country in East Africa. So they adopt little African kids. The Material Girl singer has 6 kids. I feel like he gets me, Madonna added. He has more of my DNA than any of my children so far. What's she mean by that? Is that true? I thought that she had like a 13-year-old son, well, who's like got to be 18, 19 now. 20, 21 maybe even. Rocco Ritchie. I think he has more DNA. Born in 2000, age 21. And that Rocco is white. Or is he Italian? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know what she meant by that. A year ago, I guess 15 at the time, 15-year-old David Banda, adoptive son, black son of I wonder what Guy Ritchie thinks of this stuff. Is Guy Ritchie degenerate like this? Modeled a dress, 15-year-old David Banda, a year ago. I'm presuming he was 15. Modeled a dress to millions of views on Madonna's Instagram. Exploitative mother, huh? Evil mother, prompting her to write, "Confidence is everything." Yeah, okay, it's real confident for a 15-year-old black boy to be wearing a dress on your Instagram page. That's not confident. That's the wrong kind of confidence, if that's confidence in any sense. Oh, don't say that. That's gross, Ramrod. Don't say that. That's funny. Terrible. I can't read it. I cannot even, He was talking about DNA. But anyway, thank you guys for bearing with me through that disgusting Madonna story. Here's a little headline that Pocket is promoting on women. A helpful, hopeful guide to talking to kids about welcoming refugees. And this is probably not just for parents, but also for teachers, female teachers or female-minded teachers. Every child deserves a warm welcome and a chance to welcome others as well. This is pro-refugee propaganda. I am not pro-refugee. They need to go to the country next door to them, not be coming up here. And if you're a Mexican, go down to Guatemala. I love the Mexican people. It's an article written by Jennifer Jackson and Myrie Whitehall. When it comes to talking to kids about difficult topics from the news, parents' first instincts are often to protect their little ones from complicated concepts like refugee resettlement. They should expose them, they should have them read assigned reading Refugee Resettlement Watch. Read that. RefugeeResettlementWatch.org. Ann Corcoran. Oh, man, she hasn't really updated for a while. Wonder what Ann Corcoran is up to now. Hope she's okay. Don't see any new activity since February. But she has a lot of content. She got her website taken down by evil WordPress, I think, at one point. Years, perhaps decades of content. So I don't know. Is she still on Twitter? I don't know. But anyway, this is propaganda and it's evil. And these people don't belong here. Think about the people who have been refugees, female refugees from other countries, like that evil woman who became so-called Secretary of State here in America under Bill Clinton, the first female Secretary of State, a refugee. Not a Christian either. I mean, her parents maybe pretending like they were Catholics to avoid persecution as Jewish people. But that woman, Madeleine Albright, a refugee woman, messing up America. You know who else is a refugee? Ilhan Omar, messing up America. Somalian, by way of Kenya. Disgusting. Teach the children. Teach the children to hate the refugees. No, don't hate them, but don't be accepting them. Don't be suckers. This is sucker mindset, sucker propaganda. And by sucker, I mean another word that Nick used last Friday that I don't like to use too much, but sometimes I do use it. So sick. Speaking of teaching the children, there's another, I'm just plowing through some of these little headline things that just caught my eyes. This is from Commie Nonsense Network. Fire that woman. Nick says, maybe I don't like using it either. Huh? You don't know. Fire that bleep. Whoop that truck. This is from Commie Nonsense Network. Imagine this. First grade teacher goes viral for items that she bought in the event of an active shooter. Crayons, books, a bulletproof backpack. See what other items this teacher has in her classroom to protect her students. And it's this Asian woman, first grade teacher, looks like an Asian anyway, mixed maybe. Kelsey Vidal, first grade teacher, posted a series of TikToks hoping to inspire safety ideas for others. Maybe I'll show it to you another time, but it's, what is her TikTok? Mrs. Vidal 5 or Mrs. Vidal 6 on TikTok. MRS VIDAL number 6, I think. MRS VIDAL number 6. So she's a mess. Promoting this, well, I don't know, promoting herself. Sick, huh? Sick. Terrible. You know, there was a story, I have 5 minutes left here that I want to share. Okay, let's see. You guys want to hear about Star Wars? No, let me cover this Chicago school since we're talking about the children. Here's this story from Breitbart that I did not get to yesterday about this Chicago high school to implement race-based grading system, a race-based grading system. And it was reported May 31st by Penny Starr in Breitbart. A high school in Chicago is implementing a race-based grading system to adjust classroom grading scales to account for skin color or ethnicity of its students. The move is necessary, advocates say, because traditional grading practices perpetuate inequalities. So said a slide used in the presentation. I have some headlines. I think I have some headlines on this. And this Twitter account called Free Black Thought. They're intellectuals, apparently. I think at first they were mocking it, but then they were like, let's steel man this argument, which is the opposite of straw man, the other extreme of straw man, pretending that it's a legitimate thing to do. Students, depending on their race, according to Breitbart, which may or may not have this story correct, will not be held accountable for missing class, misbehaving in school, or failing to turn in assignments. Excuse me. Pardon me. Free Black Thought. Read about the Oak Park River Forest High School's new equitable grading policies here, and they share an article. OPRF to implement Oak Park, whatever. River Forest High School to implement race-based grading system 2022 to 2023 school year, according to West Cook News. And they claim that West Cook News exaggerates this story. I don't know if that's true. But here are the facts as laid out by West Cook News on this story. School board members discussed the plan called Transformative Education, Professional Development, and Grading at a meeting May 26th. Assistant Superintendent for Student Learning, Laurie Fiorenza. That already sounds bad. A woman promoting transformative education, professional development, and grading. The plan calls what the leaders describe as competency-based grading, eliminating zeros from the gradebook. You get a 0. Encouraging and rewarding growth over time. Teachers are being instructed how to measure student growth, quote unquote, while keeping school leaders' political ideology in mind by training teachers to remove the non-academic factors, this is the key, to their grading practices and recognize when personal biases manifest. Districts can proactively signal a clear commitment toward DEIJ, diversity, equity, inclusion, and what's J stand for? What is, justice, social justice. Diversity, equity, inclusion, social justice. Disgusting, huh? So disgusting. Teachers may unintentionally let non-academic factors like student behavior, meaning misbehavior, or whether a student showed up to virtual class, tardiness, truancy, skipping class, ditching, interfere with their final evaluation of students. Traditional student grades include non-academic criteria which apply to real life, by the way, that do not reflect student learning gains, including participation and on-time homework submission. I got, the Hake Report every day, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11. Oh, let me start at 4. Imagine that. Well, some people do live like that. No offense. Ridiculous. School districts across the United States are experimenting with getting rid of 0 to 100 point scales and other strategies to keep missed assignments from dramatically bringing down overall grades, according to a March Far-Left Enemies of America Associated Press report. Others are allowing students to retake tests and turn in work late. So you retake a test, you already know what's going to be on the test, or turn in work late. Okay, that doesn't really work in the real world. You miss a deadline, you're fired, in many cases. Also coming under scrutiny are extra credit assignments that can favor students with more advantages, meaning whites. Brad Beadle of Santa Clara, California, said he's stopped giving zeros and deducting points for late work, as well as allowing students to unlimited retakes for quizzes and tests. I'm shaking my head. This Fiorenza woman called for a switch to race-based grading last August after issuing a report chronicling a spike in F grades by the students at her school in the 2020 to 2021 school year. Chris says they assume the ones missing assignments are as smart as the ones who don't miss assignments, who are doing all the work. Reminds me of putting the illegals ahead of the people who wait their turn, or ahead of the actual citizens. Real Americans. I am shaking my head. The administration of this school will adopt language that makes and keeps the system visible. This is so womanly, female-minded. I mean, not decent woman. And intellectual, phony. It's sick. Recognize the unique challenges faced during the pandemic. Intensify the need for a systemic approach to confront the racial and socioeconomic discrepancies. Such affirmative action, so sick. The failure rate was 77% for black students, 49% for Hispanic students, 27% for Asians, and 25% for white students. Wow, that's a failure rate for Scholastic Aptitude Test, SAT, I guess. 38% of sophomores fail, according to the Illinois State Board of Education. Anyway, interesting, huh? This has been the Hake Report. Thank you for joining. I will hopefully see you tomorrow on Friday for more mess. Catch the archive Sunday service from yesterday, rebuildingtheman.com/church. And catch my appearance if you're interested, thehakereport.com/appearances. And I may have a guest tomorrow. That might be fun. So be tuned in. Thanks and take care, guys. Appreciate it.